first responders experience, and many times it's difficult for them too. A wellness center in Vermont is trying to help the people on the front lines with more than just their physical health. Therapists say it's important for first responders to understand how trauma impacts them. Experts at the center say it's twice as many cops kill themselves each year than are killed by felons, and that's why they're working to help officers take care of themselves so they in turn can take care of their communities.
Consolidating memory or understanding memory is all about putting meaning to our experiences. If we can understand our experiences as a police officer, firefighter, EMT, doctor, nurse, whoever it may be, child protection worker, correctional officer, the list goes on and on. If we can understand our experiences, then we know how to integrate them into who we are.
Therapists say it's important to be at the center of your own self-care.
New at 11, the Lexington Police Department needs your help tonight. They're trying to identify this man. Police say he's wanted for shoplifting at CVS this afternoon. Officers say he drove off in a dark blue GMC Sports utility vehicle. If you know who this guy is, contact the police department.
New tonight, there is a lot of talk about vaccinations for children, but what about grown-ups?
Well, the recent measles outbreak has some talking about adult vaccinations because, as reporter James Dinan shows us, if you're a part of a certain age group, you may need to get your booster shots again.
Nearly 2 decades ago, the measles was declared eliminated in the United States, but there has been an upsurge of cases, including adults who thought they were already protected. It's likely that you don't remember getting your booster shots as a kid or have lost your documentation. And depending on when you were born, you may not have been given the vaccine at all. If you were born before the 60s, you may have never been vaccinated because it was assumed you'd be exposed to the virus and would build immunity. The group of adults that may be at risk are Generation X, born in the late 60s, 70s, and 80s. These adults may have been vaccinated, but never built immunity, mostly because of the way the vaccines were administered. There was a change in 1989 when the CDC began recommending 2 doses of the MMR, which covers the measles, mumps, and rubella, making the vaccine consistently more effective. If you're unsure of your immunity, contact your doctor. The CDC says it's safe to get another dose. For today's Health Minute, I'm James Dinan.
New at 11, you'll soon have to go through a metal detector before you catch one of the newest rides in Kings Dominion. The new rule for Twisted Timbers is because riders have been hurt while on the coaster. Kings Dominion said the thrill ride's unique forces may cause personal items to fall out even if they're in your pocket. This is a look at some of those injuries. Phones and keys will have to be placed in a zippered bag below each rider's seat.
One local restaurant is doing its part this Earth Day, the nationwide push that has entire states joining the ban on plastics. New at 11 tonight, a local restaurant is celebrating Earth Day by reducing its carbon footprint.
Mac and Bob's restaurant in Salem announced on social media that it switched to compostable straws and paper to-go bags. They also hope to get rid of styrofoam by the end of the year.
Meanwhile, states like New York are banning the use of plastic bags altogether. Starting in March 2020, New Yorkers will have to bring their own reusable bags or buy some at the store. More places around the world are banning or taxing the use of plastic bags.
And it's amazing, if you charge people something, it changes their behaviour. And we found that in Ireland when they introduced a plastic bag levy. And suddenly you didn't see the streets were so much cleaner.
Plastic bag manufacturers say the ban could result in bags that are worse for the environment. Might be their opinion. All right, new at 11, chickens are helping Randolph College in Lynchburg reach high ranks. It's all part of the school's sustainability effort. Randolph College is currently ranked 9th in the nation for one of the greenest colleges, according to the Princeton Review. School leaders held a mini Earth Day festival where students were planting in the new pollinator garden, interacting with 7-week-old hens from the school's organic garden, and learning how to get involved with Lynchburg's James River Association.
It's nice. It's things that we would be doing otherwise. Getting the ranking is just icing on the cake kind of thing.
To keep the celebration going, tomorrow the dining hall will provide local organic meals for students and staff.
New at 11, a local dance-inspired fitness business will close its doors for good on June 28th. Just Dance Roanoke has been in the community for almost 9 years. The owners say they no longer have the resources to carry out their vision as their lease renewal comes up. Until then, there will still be opportunities to dance in the studio, but they're going to cut back on classes. You can find the updated class schedule on our website, WSLS.com. Happening tomorrow, a program to help eliminate pet waste in downtown Roanoke launches at a special event. Pet owners will register their dog's DNA in the Poo Prints program. This will allow property owners to find out who is not picking up their pet's waste. The event will have free activities and pet-friendly businesses from 4 to 8 in front of the Transportation Museum.
Coming up on this edition of the Newsfeed, a living learning community at Virginia Tech bring together different cultural backgrounds, how these students resemble what living in these cultures actually looks like.
Plus, Hokies men's basketball has a new coach. We'll take a look at fans' reactions and what they think he will bring to the program.
And as the world becomes more digital, how libraries are continuing their efforts to stay relevant to patrons. Those stories and more are just ahead.
Marathon season is upon us, and training sessions have and should be started. Whether you're preparing for your first race or you're a veteran runner, training is a big and long commitment. If you've never ran one before, 26.2 miles can seem daunting. First-timers shouldn't jump right into running 40 to 50 miles a week. You'll want to start off slow and work up to more miles. Training should begin 20 weeks or more before the race if it's your first time, whereas long-time runners only need around 12 weeks of training. Also, running outside will help you get used to different inclines. If it's raining, a treadmill works too. Incorporating different types of training like weightlifting will help strengthen muscles and prevent injuries.
I think it's a good idea to weight train, say 2 to 3 times per week. You want to keep it more on the strength side, so heavier weight, lower reps.
Make sure to eat a carb-loaded meal the night before and drink plenty of water, but don't drink too much before the race so you're not carrying extra liquids.
On the Newsfeed, as the weather gets warmer, dog parks get more crowded. We have tips you can take to help keep you and your canine companions safe.
And libraries are fighting to stay alive as more people use electronic devices to read. How they are changing the way libraries run. That story and more after this break.
Now at 11, an outpouring of support for a place that's known for its community.
This is more about helping the staff at CI right now while they're out of work.
How a restaurant up the street is helping a Roanoke staple partially destroyed by a fire.
This is frightening to watch. How that teen's fall was a sign that her entire family was in danger.
It was chaos. It was complete chaos.
The poisonous gas that sent the family of 7 to a hospital.
And people across Southwest Virginia are not letting a destructive storm damper their spirits. What has people from across the region coming out to help families pick up the pieces.
The support keeps rolling in tonight after a fire partially destroyed a landmark Roanoke bar.
Walk into Community Inn on any given day and you'll see a mix of people around these same booths, but now all of that has changed. 10 News reporter Shane Dwyer is live in Roanoke's Grandin Village at the bar tonight.
Shane, how long are they expected to be closed?
Brittany and John, you know, it is way too early to even give a time frame of when Community Inn may be able to reopen. On a night like tonight, right around this time, you usually have the second shift workers getting off work and headed into their neighborhood joint here at CI. But tonight, just a dark storefront. You can still smell a little bit of the charred stuff that's inside the restaurant there. That smoky smell is really, really rich in there. And you know, where they're not able to come together and make this happen tonight, the neighborhood is building themselves up around them to support Community Inn. So not an if, but a when as to when the doors will reopen here at the Community Inn in Grandin Village. Now, most places in Virginia, you can no longer smoke inside. Community Inn was one of the few places where you could still do that. So with a fire caused by, as the fire marshal ruled it, improperly disposed of smoking materials, it begs the question, will Community Inn allow patrons to continue smoking inside? The Morrow family says they will be thinking about that decision in the coming months. Live in Roanoke, Shane Dwyer, 10 News, working for you.
Other news tonight, a Covington family of 7 is thankful to be alive tonight. They are recovering from carbon monoxide poisoning. They suddenly became sick and thought they were going to die. We are not exaggerating. One daughter, look at this, was alert enough to get her mother, who became ill and passed out. Then what you just saw was another daughter becoming lightheaded and falling down the stairs. EMS crews arrived just minutes later.
It's unforgettable, it's traumatic, it's something that you want to help other people from having the experience.
By the grace of God, we're all living and breathing, and we're going to urge and try to promote to everyone we can talk to the importance of a carbon monoxide detector.
And the experts confirm the high carbon monoxide levels in their home could have been deadly. You can't see or smell carbon monoxide, so detectors are very important. Indiana authorities have released new and updated information about a suspect wanted for the murder of 2 teenage girls. A new sketch, new video, and new audio have been released to the public, all of it based on information that has surfaced in recent weeks. Dan Cheneman has the latest on this murder mystery.
If you didn't get a chance to get out and enjoy the weather today, you may have more opportunities this week. Storm Team 10 will share how long this beautiful spring weather will last. Now at 7, communities across Southwest Virginia continue to recover from Friday's powerful storms. We'll show you how the community is helping families that lost everything. A close call.
Well, it had to have been a miracle. It was a God thing. It wasn't an us thing.
A local family shares the moments a carbon monoxide leak almost killed them. 4 Americans are among the 300 victims of Sunday's Easter bombings in Sri Lanka. We'll explain how the FBI is now involved in the case. Straight line winds, that's what the National Weather Service says caused damage in Halifax County during Friday's storm. 10 News reporter Coulter Anstad talked with one property owner who had his damage surveyed today. The search is on for answers after yesterday's Easter suicide bombings in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka's government admits it had advance warnings of the attacks. The country's government says a domestic group could be responsible. A dusk to dawn curfew is in effect for a second night as the investigation continues. The FBI and other international agencies are working to gather more evidence.
Why weren't the churches protected if you had a warning?
Well, how many churches to be protected? But we informed that there is we never expected an attack of this magnitude.
The death count now stands at nearly 300 with more than 500 injuries. 4 Americans are among the dead. New at 7, nearly a year after people held their breath during a dramatic rescue, the Australian divers who rescued the Thai soccer team from a cave returned for an emotional reunion. Richard Harris and Craig Challen were just 2 of the 18 members from that rescue team. You might remember the soccer team and their coach were trapped inside that cave complex because of flooding. Now the rescuers are reuniting with the boys and toured the cave museum, which now has pictures from the rescue.
Since we left, we had to rush off in a bit of a hurry after the rescue last year, and we've been looking forward all this time to getting back and having a look at what the cave actually looks like.
Their successful rescue last summer lasted 17 days.